returning to Yu-Gi-Oh! Can be intimidating. Luckily, there are a lot of great creators out there who provide helpful content. But this is my journey. While getting back into the game is mostly expensive, I'm doing it the smart way.
And buy the singles!
This series is dedicated to building a competitive deck, but only with singles and on a mightily small budget.
€5
per week. Welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Heroes. Well, hello there my fellow gentle nerds. This is Echo again for episode 17 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Heroes. We are on the final stretch of the series and it is actually going very fast. We are taking wins left and right, and I hope this doesn't stop in this episode. I'm going to take a very short detour, of course, that's what I wanted to say, and want to thank you for over 222 subscribers. This is actually going very fast. I actually very much appreciate everyone that has subscribed to the channel, everyone that watches every episode, that attends the premieres that I'm doing and gives videos a like. Even if you don't comment, I very much appreciate you being there and I hope you have a very nice day. Other than that, short intro sequence, jump right into the new card section. Yeah, so here we are at the desk where you're going to see all the new cards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you first what leaves the deck and then comes the new stuff. We are actually taking out one mask change. That is actually surprising, but we don't rely too hard on the mask changes yet. This has a reason that I'm taking out a mask change. Maybe it will come back to 3. As of right now, I think I need the space, so one mask change. Also, one poly again. I actually like 2, but as of right now, I need it down to 1. So one poly goes for now, and from the extra deck, Masked Hero Blast. His biggest downside is that he is small. He is actually just 2200 and that makes him vulnerable. Yes, he can halve someone, but that's just 1 and paying 500 life points for a spell and trap bounce, it doesn't come up too much since I actually mostly use Stratos as fusion fodder. Yeah, so those are the ones that are gone. I'm going to put them to the side now and you're going to see what I'm taking in. And it is Super Polymerization. Yes, this card, I'm going to get this a bit closer to the camera. My setup changed again, but I now have the overhead. There is the Super Poly. This one is from Dual Devastator, so we don't pay anything for this card. But I got a second one. So we actually have to pay this card since we only had access to one before. This card is 90 cents. And now you're thinking what I'm putting into the extra deck. It is actually Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. This is controversial. I know that is controversial, but for me he is like a second Raigeki. He is not as good as the Absolute Zero, but he is good since destroying all special summon monsters is something that you have to play around. And I can use any of those cards on the opposite side of the field. I just want to have the option if I don't control any heroes. Because if I control actually some heroes, those heroes can be used as fodder as well. Second, I can actually fuse in the battle phase if I have Poly in hand. So, the Super Poly is actually a very good card. What happens if I have a Malicious in hand? Yeah, dump him with Super Poly, special summon something, also get out a Malicious. That is very good. So, 2 Super Poly, I think it is very good. Yes, there was a dig. Sorry. Happens. forgot to turn it off before. Yeah, but this is the changes that we made to the deck. I hope you enjoy it. Let's go right into the duels. Here we are at this week's duels. We start off, as always, against the Pokemonarch. He sets 4 pass. I normal summon Stratos, and there is the Forbidden Chalice, directly negating my Stratos and, yeah, preventing me from doing anything if you have seen that hand. Just attacking for 2/2 and set 3 pass. He overlays into Hope Harbinger, and I strike that, so he could only pass. I normal summon Vion, and he is a second Chalice, so I can't dump anything, but I E-Call, get the Honest Neos, attack in with 1800 with 1400, and send Super Poly into Sunrise. What happens then was, yeah, thick fingers. I actually clicked main phase 2, but he didn't draw into anything that is usable, so I take game number 1. Game number 2, I go first because, yeah, normal summon Stratos again, getting the Ferris, setting up for next turn. Set 2 pass. He only sets 2 and passes as well. That is not a hand that you want to see as a Blue Eyes player. I activate Ferris, dumping Vion, getting increase, and there comes the next Vion. That Vion dumps me a Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist activates, getting me a Liquid Soldier. I normal summon Liquid Soldier, get back the Shadow Mist. Yeah, I just wanted to have it on board. Activate Vion effect to get Poly, and there is the Dimensional Barrier. That is unfortunate, but I swing in for a lot of damage. He has only 1900 left and activates Twin Twisters. Yeah, I couldn't have done anything, but he top decks into nothing and surrenders the game. That was a swift 2-0, and we go on to Duel Inc. He is playing Phantom Knights Burning Abyss, and yeah, as you can see, there is a lot happening. Going into Bamboozling Gossip Shadow and activating Cherubini, going to Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardish, setting the Fogblade, Cloak at Spanish to search Red Gloves. There is Torn Scales. My god, there are so many Phantom Knights cards, but he can get back Torn Scales, overlaying into Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, set to pass. That is a hand that I have to break. Okay, I special summon the Prodigy. He uses rank up magic and goes into Dark Requiem Dragon, activating Rusty Bardish, but I go into Absolute Zero. Then comes the Gossip Shadow. That gives me a Plasma, which was very good. And there comes Acid, and I chain block the Requiem Dragon, but he couldn't do anything against that. So my Absolute Zero actually cleared the board, but it is not Phantom Knights if he can't recover from that. So there's a Break Sword. Break Sword targets my Prodigy. Yeah, there goes the Prodigy. I'm not surprised that it didn't survive for long. Yeah, going into Beat Cop and a Raiders Knight. There comes Rusty Bardish, Arc Rebellion, and I think, no, that's not it. Definitely setting a wing and hitting in for a lot of damage. I bring back my increase, and I'm on 1900 LP. Not looking too good, but I get the E-Call, and that was where I contemplated how to play this very, very good. I get actually the bait for the Fogblade, so I can bring the increase and still get the special from Solid Soldier to get the Vion, get another Vion through the increase, and there comes Plasma attaching Arc Rebellion. He actually protects his Rusty Bardish with the wing and surrenders. He surrenders because he couldn't play through it. And I think he somewhat expected me to have Honest Neos in hand. After that long game 1, we go into game 2. He made me go first. I Fusion Destiny, and yeah, Ash. I E-Call, get Stratos, act normal summon Stratos, as I did before often. Set is Super Poly and pass. he goes into Silent Boots, Kagemusha Knight, and Cherubini. And I was contemplating to Super Poly the Cherubini and the Stratos. I didn't do that. I got greedy. I then Super Polyed the Cherubini and the... I can't remember what it was because it's gone now, into Starving Venom. That was not the best choice. I should have Super Polyed the Cherubini. He goes into Rusty Bardish. But I have Honest Neos and he is Called by the Grave. Not looking too good. There comes back the Starving Venom, which is actually going to be a pain in the ass for him. And yep, Ferris and the set Fogblade negates my Ferris. And he gets the wing, so it doesn't get destroyed. I can't attack with Ferris. So my turn ends here. Activating Rusty Bardish, setting a wing, dumping the cloak, and there is Torn Scales getting out. Oh, of course, going into Breaksword. Activating their effects, bringing Greaves and Torn Scales back, going into Raider's Knight, overlaying into Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon. There's Breaksword again, detaching, and it is big now. That was an OTK. Oh my god, Arc Rebellion has OTK'd me twice in this series now. Game 3, he goes first because I lost the last game. I can't stop him yet, so that hand is actually a yikes if you play second. I was contemplating going first. Yeah, not the best idea I had. There is Rusty Bardish. There's so much that Phantom Knights players can actually do. Silent Boots comes out, Red Gloves come out, and there's the Gossip Shadow. I would have loved to stop his Xyz plays, but I couldn't because I decided to go second. Yeah, there is the Dark Requiem Dragon, and now comes Ash Blossom. Yeah, now. I Super Poly into Starving Venom and try to attack over the Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, and he Fogblades the Starving Venom. I just set one, D-Barrier, and pass. He sets one and passes as well. I pass, and he draws Foolish. I try to Ash it, but he bamboozles, so we both draw a card. There comes Torn Scales, Silent Boots, Kagemusha Knight gets activated, Wing Engrave, that gives him... Oh, I can't see what this is. Was it Greaves? But he can't attack my Starving Venom because of Fogblade. And activates Imperial Order to stop my Rhoda. I just set one and pass. The good thing is, yeah, Imperial Order drains him and he can't attack my Starving Venom. So for now, not too good for him. He then pops my Hero Lives that I set as bait because it wasn't live at this moment and didn't save me. And look at this Arc Rebellion that is very big again. And I have a big Space Rock in hand. I just set the Starving Venom because he still can't attack it. He has to clear it. So I was on the fence hoping to do anything, and then I nearly fucked up normal summoning Stratos because he can attack the Stratos. And look at this Arc Rebellion Dragon that is big. So I search Dynatek. He goes into Rusty Bardish, Breaksword, and there he pops the Imperial Order. And look at 19,200, and I can stop it with Dynatek. He was hoping he can Call by the Grave, but he couldn't. Going into Dark Requiem, and I have the Space Rock, and he just surrenders because he does not want to take it. Wow, what a game. For this week's remote duel, we are playing against Nick from the channel Jimio Tundra. You pretty much know him from either my episodes where I dueled him before, or from Soyi where he's a participant, and he plays Blue Eyes, but the sealed only variant, not the singles only variant that the Pokemon Arc does. So here we are. Game 1, I make him go first because I high rolled a 12. That's amazing. He normal summons his White Stone of Ancients, links it off into Linkuriboh, sets one and pass. In his end phase he can special summon the Blue Eyes from Grave because White Stone of Ancients. I then normal summon Solid Soldier, special summon Vion from hand, but there's the Solemn Judgment. And yeah, I mean, that gets rid of the Vion. But I chain Super Poly from my hand, fusing Linkuriboh and Vion into Starving Venom, and trigger its effect if it's fusion summoned, getting 3000 attack from the blue eyes. I then e-call a Liquid Soldier, but I realize I can hit over with Starving Venom Fusion Dragon and punch with Solid Soldier for game. That was a quick one. Game 2, he goes first and normal summons Maiden, set to pass. Maiden is actually very, very bad for me, but I normal summon Solid Soldier and bring out Shadow Mist, getting the Search for Mask Change. I get the D-Barrier in the face, but that is not too bad for me this turn, since I would have definitely used the Mask Change next turn. I then hit into the Maiden with the Solid Soldier and then kill it with the Shadow Mist. That brings out a Blue Eyes, but I'm not afraid, because in his standby phase I Mask Change Shadow Mist into Dark Law, activating the trigger effect of Shadow Mist in Grave. That gives me a search for Ferris though. So you know what I have in hand. And the Ferris is set up for next turn. He attacks into my Dark Law, and you know it, I have the Honest Neos in hand. Otherwise I would have searched it, because there is a Blue Eye staring it down. He then normal summons Maiden in his turn and passes. I activate Ferris from hand, searching and dumping Shadow Mist, getting the search for Liquid Soldier, going through my Vision Hero combo, and in the end dumping the Malicious with Vion's effect. I'm linking the Malicious into the Cross Crusader, bring it back, and then tribute it to search for Infernal Prodigy. And you know where this is going. I activate Dark Calling, no interruptions, and I banish Infernal Prodigy and Ferris from Grave, going into Malicious Bane. It happened. I'm so happy, and that is more than enough damage to take this game. Yes, thanks so much for watching this week's episodes. We won all of the duels. I am very excited about this. That means 15 euro extra on top. That is very, very good. We actually have one thing to discuss, and that is the missing episode of Soyi from last week. You probably have noticed that I announced week 3 of Soyi to come out on the 6th of May, if I'm correct there. The thing is, it never released on the 6th of May. That is because there happened some stuff for some participants that actually were moving. If you know him, you know him. Others couldn't find a way to duel because of work schedule and time zones. That's the reason I had to postpone this week's Soyi episode to this Thursday. I set a deadline for the remainder of the duels, that they are going to be done up until Tuesday, so I can record and you get the episode on Thursday. I hope that is not too much of trouble for you. I hope you're still hyped for the series, for this episode, and I hope to see you in the next episode of Heroes that comes out next week Monday, as usual. I hope you still have a fantastic day, and hope to see you soon in the next episode. See you then. Bye bye.